drama, self-growth, overcoming challenges, all in one series, A Silent Voice.
A Silent Voice is a manga series about a teenager who tries to grow as a person. Haunted from his past of bullying others, it's a powerful story about bullying and self-growth.
We are your hosts, Sam,
Tien,
And Derrick.
A Silent Voice is a manga series with 7 books made by Yoshitoki Oima. Yoshitoki was born in 1989 and she started the manga series A Silent Voice when she was just 18. Yoshitoki Oima once said in an interview, "As someone who experienced depression as a child, I wanted to bring it out to light since it is not always visible on the surface and hides within the people we'd least expect to have it."
She has won many awards like the Shinjuku Osama Culture Prize in 2015 and the Rudolph Dirks Best Scenario Award. She is given these awards for amazing achievements in the best publications in that category. She has created the manga To Your Eternity, award-winning anime and manga.
Of A Silent Voice is a kid with black spiky hair and he's about average height. As an elementary schooler who loves attention and he has many friends. But as the story goes on, he later loses those friends and they start singling him out and bullying him because he was trying to blame them for him bullying Shoko. He then gains social anxiety and somewhat depression. He doesn't like people that much now.
Shoko, a girl with dark pink hair, is deaf and she's pretty quiet. She doesn't get along with people because people didn't like that she's deaf, so she was often picked on and bullied. In the third book, we get to see a character called Miyoko. She has short black hair and she's very tall. She was at Shoya's elementary school, but for a short amount of time, after being friends with Shoko. Since she was there briefly, she didn't know that Shoko was getting bullied. She also tried to learn sign language so that the class could easily communicate with Shoko. In the first book, we are introduced to a girl called Nayako. She is a girl with long black hair and she went to Shoya's elementary school. She had a bad mouth, but she was very popular for reasons like she was smart, she was athletic, and she was pretty. Shoya had always paired up with her for projects and chores. Shoya talked to her the most in elementary, and Nayako had a crush on Shoya, and one of the persons that bullied Shoko.
Uzura Nishima is Shoko's younger sister. Her hobby is taking photos and playing the protective role of her sister. She has short black hair and a short fame. She pretends to be a boy and protects her sister from bullies, and dislikes Shoyo because he bullied Shoko. She was introduced in book 2. Tomohiro was the first true friend of Shoya after his many years of loneliness. He is also a passionate filmmaker and a loyal friend to Shoya. He was introduced in book 2. He was short and had puffy black hair.
Satoshi is a popular kid with dark orange hair. He is one of Shoya's friends and he is very outgoing. He isn't afraid to stand up for others and he's very kind. It was hinted that he was bullied in the past. He is one of the kids that go to Shoya's elementary school. She has pale skin and blonde hair. She cares a lot of what people think of her, and she blames bad actions on others and not herself, even if she's the one that did it. She's a narcissist that...
Tien, what's a narcissist, dude?
Yeah,
stop!
and she was introduced in book 1.
Now we finished all the characters. Let's dive in. Let's dive in so we can go to the book 1.
Don't listen to these buffoons. We just jump right into the first book of A Silent Voice. In the first book, we get to see our protagonist, Shoya. He's portrayed as an elementary school student. But one day, a girl named Shoko transfers right into Shoya's class. She ends up getting bullied by Shoya and other kids for a disability. Some acts the kids would do to bully Shoko is that they would yell really loud into her ears and write really mean comments on the whiteboard. Just overall being jerks. But one day, Shoya took it a little bit way too far and damaged her hearing aids. He tried to blame it on the other kids, but the other kids blamed it all on Shoko. This caused Shoko to transfer out to a different school. Shoya is then slowly blamed for the bullying and becomes an outcast, who ends up getting bullied himself by his friends. Then years later, when Shoya is in high school, he becomes very depressed because of his past of bullying others and his close friends cut ties with him. With no friends or the will to live, he decides to sell all his belongings, give the money to his mother, and then plans to kill himself. But he decides to go to his sign language center, hoping to see Shoko and apologize for his past wrongdoings.
In book 2, we see Shoya at the sign language center, and he walks in and he sees Shoko. So basically, Shoya apologizes to Shoko and she accepts his apology. And so now they're talking about their interest, and Shoko says that she likes to feed koi fish by the pond near her school with bread. Now they're leaving the sign language center and they see Shoko's mom. And when Shoko's mom sees Shoya, she gets kind of mad because Shoya used to bully Shoko. And if someone used to bully my kid, I would also be kind of mad if they were hanging out with him. So now Shoko's mom is telling Shoya to stay away from Shoko, and before Shoya can say anything important, Shoko's mom slaps him, and then Shoko and her mom. The next day at Shoya's school, he sees a kid trying to borrow, quote unquote, borrow a bike from a shorter kid with curly hair. Shoya lets the other kid borrow his bike, and Shoya goes back to class. After school, his bike is stolen because he's never returned the bike, and he's walking home dejected when he sees a bread coupon lying on the floor. Shoya sees this as a sign to go see Shoko, so he goes and buys bread with the coupon, and he goes to the sign language center. At the door of the sign language center, he sees a short kid with short black hair. This is where we're introduced to Yuzuru, Shoko's younger sister. Yuzuru knows that Shoya used to bully Shoko, so she lies and says Shoko went home early. Shoya leaves the sign language center, and as he's walking home, he sees the same short kid with curly hair. That kid has his stolen bike, and it's revealed that he went looking for Shoya's bike when he offered to let the other guy borrow it. And we get to learn his name, Tomohiro. Tomohiro is my favorite character, and by far the best character in this book, I think. The next morning, when Shoya wakes up, he goes downstairs and is confronted by his mother. His mother confronts him about Shoya wanting to kill himself, and this is a really emotional scene, basically. So she threatens to burn all of the money that Shoya gave her unless Shoya promises to not kill himself. But she ends up accidentally burning it anyway.
In Book 3 of Silent Voice, Shoko wants to meet Miyoko. She disappears shortly after becoming friends with Shoko in elementary school. So, after school, Shoya and Shoko went to Miyoko's high school to find her. They looked for her the whole day, but gave up, so they split up to go home. After they split up, Shoya was going home when he bumped into Miyoko at the train station. Shoya basically just explained that Shoko wants to meet Miyoko, so they set up a date to go karaoke and they exchanged contact information. But because Shoya was broke after his mother burned all his money, he had to borrow money from Tomohiro, but Tomohiro made him promise to make a movie with him to make up for borrowing the money. While Shoya was walking, he met Nanika, an old elementary friend. All she did though was give him a coupon to a cafe. With the coupon that Shoya got from Nanika, he decided to go to the cafe with Tomohiro. It turns out that Nanika wasn't even at the cafe, but when they left, Tomohiro got a cat pouch that had a note saying, "I always loved you." So Tomohiro went to Naniko's high school, but Nanako, when she saw the note, was really surprised because she told the staff it's I'm not here to give it to Shoya, but they didn't know that Shoya was the other guy. So she was just really surprised. But Tomohiro, still thinking that he was loved, asked her out, but he got brutally rejected. Shoya was surprised to see Nanaka waiting at his doorstep the next day. Nanaka asked Shoya if he could drop her off at her house. While they were biking, Nanaka saw Shoko at a plant store. So Nanaka stopped the bike, but Shoya didn't want her to see Shoko, so she ran after her, but it was too late and Nanaka took a hearing aid and said, "Here, you want it?" While they were biking, Nanaka saw Shoko at a plant store. So Nanaka gave it back to Shoko and immediately apologized multiple times. Nanaka was very surprised and said, "Why are you guys just pretending to be friends?" She promptly leaves after that incident, and Shoya also left to get back to his house. When everyone was meeting up at the bridge the next day, Shoya asked Shoko, "Are we just pretending to be friends?" That's when Shoko said very loudly, "I love." Shoya just thought that she was just saying, "I love the moon," not saying, "I love you."
In the fourth book, we get to see Shoko running straight home and going to her bed after she failed to confess her feelings to Shoko. Yeah, she was trying to say "I love you" to Shoya, but Shoya misheard her and that she was saying "I love the moon." The next scene takes place at school, where Shoya and Tomohiro were just chatting when Shitoshi said he wants to be friends. So now they're friends. But because of that, Mika has started to talk with Shoya more often, which annoys him, because she just wants to get close to Shitoshi. Shoya suggests that they should go to the bridge, but Shoko says she's not gonna go because she was too embarrassed about Shoya's not understanding her, so she lies and says her stomach was just hurting. Tomohiro wants to use Yazuro's camera for a movie. She says yes, but for one condition, if he takes her somewhere fun. So everyone goes, and along the way, Naoka and Mika tags along. Shoya tries to keep Shoko away from Naoka, but realizes Miyoko and Naoka are friends. Everyone is having lots of fun going on roller coasters and other attractions. But later on, Naoka leads Shoya to a food stall where Shoya meets one of his elementary friends, Kazaki. By the way, he's not important, so he doesn't get a character introduction. Shoya then leaves the stall and his mood is completely ruined because Naoka tricked him. Later, Naoka reveals her intentions to make Shoya be friends with his old elementary school friends. So, Naoka suggests that if she can be friends with Shoko, Shoya has to be friends with his old friends. Then, she runs off to Shoko and rides a Ferris wheel. Later, we see Naoka and Shoko getting off the ride, but we see Shoko with a bruise mark on her face, signaling something bad happened to Shoko. On the next day, Yuzura invited Shoya to go to her house. She said that she was recording the whole event about what happened with Shoko and Naoka. The conversation started with Naoka saying, "I hate you," and making up excuses for bullying, and she said that Shoko hates her as well. Shoko says that she doesn't hate Naoka. Shoko says she hates herself. For that, she got slapped in the face. Note this was on Notebook to Communicate. Yuzura and Shoya was completely shocked for what they saw, and they were talking about how Shoko could like herself. So the next day, Shoya complimented Shoko's hair.
In Book 5, a really quick summary would be that it was the breaking point for the friend group. The friend group included Tomohiro, Miyoko, Miki, Satoshi, Nanaka, because they were making the movie. The reason why the friend group is breaking in Book 5 is because Miki is painting herself innocent when she was allowing bullying to happen in elementary school. Satoshi hates Shoya now because he realized that Shoya used to bully Shoko in the past, and he really hates bullies because in the past he got bullied. Nautica hates Shoko and is always stirring up trouble, and she's just overall being very negative to Shoko. Overall, everyone is just blaming each other while no one's taking responsibility. After seeing how fake the friend group is, he only cares about Shoko and Yuzuru. Shoya is getting more depressed, not by fear, but by frustration. Shoko feels responsible for what happened in the group, so she begins to feel more depressed. She keeps on going guilt by the day. So when the firework festival happens, the whole entire group meets up, but it's just very awkward and weird, and it feels very depressing. Shoko, who feels very, very depressed, but is smiling to hide it from others, leaves the group to go back to her apartment, but Shoya follows. That's when she realized that Shoko is jumping off the building.
After finishing some of the Silent Voices books, I could confidently say I have some dislikes and likes about characters. Some dislike characters I have is Naoka and Mika, and some like characters I have is Tomohiro. The reasons why I don't like Naoka is that she's really very mean and she manipulates a lot of people and makes people think that she's pretty nice. And Mika acts like a child and she only wants attention. Mika also did some unnecessary things, like said that Shoya used to bully a lot of people. And what she said made Shoya uncomfortable and he didn't really like that. Because she did that because she wanted to win an argument because I guess she didn't want to be wrong. And in the story she says she's never wrong. I also hate that Mika used Shoya just to get to Satoshi, and she's not real friends with Shoya. And she also says that she's never wrong, but there is sometimes that she is wrong, like when she was actually laughing at Shoko when she was getting bullied. A character that I like is Tomohiro. He's pretty nice and he's Shoya's true friend. He also brought back Shoya's stolen bike, which Shoya thought he was never gonna get back, and Tomohiro worked so hard to get back Shoya's bike, so I really like that Tomohiro's character was like that, and I would recommend this book for anyone that likes drama. Yeah.
It's Tien, and the characters that I like most in this book are Shoya and Tomohiro, and the character that I hate the most or dislike the most is Naoka. The reason I like Tomohiro is because he's such a genuine friend to Shoya in this story. He first gets Shoya's stolen bike back to him and he spends his free time searching for it. Not also that, he's also given Shoya money throughout the story and has supported him in a lot of ways. Without Tomohiro in the story, I feel like it would just be way more depressing and sad. And Tomohiro just brightens the story up. The reason I like Shoya is because even though he has done bad things in the story, he's also willing to change and make amends for his past actions. And now Naoka, I hate this character because she just feels so childish and self-centered. When the friend group first broke up in book 4, I think, Naoka just blamed Shoko instead of considering why everything fell apart. She just blamed Shoko immediately and singled her out. And not only that, in book 4, there's also a Ferris wheel scene where Naoka slapped Shoko for basically no reason. It's just, she's kind of an annoying character, and I just don't like her that much. Overall, I think this is a great series about personal growth. I think everybody should read this at least once.
One of the characters I really liked is Tomohiro. He doesn't bring up the past. He doesn't treat Shoya differently. He just says, "You're my friend," even after knowing he bullied in the past. He is very loyal, and even after Shoya tried isolating himself and kicking him out, he was still being very supportive and helping him out. In book 5, they couldn't finish the movie because the whole entire group breaks apart, and because of that, the movie was off. But in books 7 and 6, they finished the movie, but only Tomohiro was working on it because he made it just for Shoya, for him to feel better. My recommendations is that you should definitely watch the movie, but you could also read the book. They're both really great, and my rating is a 9. One of the major themes in the book is that bullying is a very, very impactful thing. Not just on the person that you're bullying, but on yourself. I think a major theme as well is that people can change. Take Shoya for example. He was able to change his elementary self into a grown adult who's able to make friends and just overall be a great person. I think it just shows that it's not fast, it's not perfect, but it's real. It's there. You can change. Like, think about yourself. You can change.
And overall, this is a great series. I give this 9 Shoyas out of 10 Tomohiras.
Overall, for me, my rating, I could confidently say I could give A Silent Voice a 8.5 out of 10.
I can say that A Silent Voice is a 9 out of 10.
Okay, since the ratings are in, the overall rating would be a 9 out of 10 for A Silent Voice.